machine to warm up. We're good to go, Bill?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your help. Well, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to everybody who is with us today. We will call to order this special meeting of the Lawrence County Salary Board. Today is Tuesday, May 23 of 2023. It is 11 o'clock in the morning, and we did advertise this meeting as per the Sunshine Law. The legal ad appeared in Saturday's Newcastle News. And I would ask, by the way, if any of you have any type of electronic communication device, if you'd be kind enough to put it on silent or vibrate, we'd certainly appreciate that courtesy. And we do have 3 issues to discuss today. I do want to note for the record that we did have 2 executive sessions to discuss personnel matters in advance of this meeting. One was on Monday, May 8th, and the other one was more recently. It was,
17th.
There it is. You're right, 17th. Thank you. I had them both written down.
I remembered the date, but it wasn't there.
Thank you for those. Thank you. I appreciate you coming to my rescue. So we'll note for the record that those 2 executive sessions were held. For the explanation of the audience, the county code requires that each county have a permanent salary board consisting of the 3 commissioners and the elected county controller. Our votes all equal one another. And the purpose of the salary board is to either create or eliminate positions or change rates of pay. And when the board does meet, we make it a point to note that we only talk about the positions, not the people holding the positions. We're not here to talk about the people, it's the positions that they hold. Because you may have someone working here today and a week from now, they may hit the lottery and retire. Now I also note that the county code stipulates that when an issue comes before the board pertaining to the courts or any office that falls under the jurisdiction of the courts, the president judge becomes a temporary voting member of this board. The same is applicable when it involves an elected row officer. So for example, if Sheriff Quilero had an issue involving his office, he would become a temporary member of this board, but the 4 permanent members are seated here. So with that being said, I've called the meeting to order. I'll ask Vanessa to call the roll, please.
Controller Pastapan.
Here.
Commissioner Steelvogel.
Here.
Commissioner Buick.
Present.
Commissioner Vogler.
Here. And I do want to note for the record, since we do have Judge Motto with us, he will be participating shortly as a temporary voting member of this board. We are obligated to set aside time for public comment that would pertain to the salary board. Is there any public comment at this time? Hearing and seeing none, we'll do this one more time before we adjourn. In our packets, and this item would be applicable to the 4 of us, we do have the minutes of the March 14, 2023 salary board meeting. Give you some time to look it over, and whenever one of you might be ready, I could entertain a motion for the adoption of the minutes.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Mr. Prestipine moves, and Commissioner Steelvogel offers the second for the approval of the minutes. Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call, please, Vanessa.
Controller Pastapan.
Yes.
Commissioner Steelvogel.
Yes.
Commissioner Buick.
I abstain only because I was not yet a member of the board at that time and was not present at that meeting.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Buick. The printed agenda, I'd like to deviate from it just somewhat slightly, and we've spoken with both Judge Motto and Public Safety Director Strobel. Mr. Strobel has a pretty important meeting that he has to get to, not that the judge doesn't have important things to do, but the judge was very gracious in allowing Mr. Strobel to go first, which thank you, Judge, for that courtesy.
Yes.
And so accordingly then, Chad, if you're able to come up so that you can be picked up on the microphone. Oh, there it is. Different table and, Chad, we thank you for joining us. This is Chad Strobel, our Public Safety Director. Vanessa, what would the number of this proposed resolution be?
30.
3-0?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Strobel, welcome. We appreciate your joining us today. You have a proposal that, if I recall correctly, said possibly could actually save the county some money. What you're proposing is that 2 telecommunicator supervisor positions in 911, if I'm not mistaken,
Correct, yes.
be eliminated, and that in their place, we create 2 telecommunicator positions, and that they be paid per the pay rate structure that was approved with Salary Board Resolution 2021-032. So with that, Mr. Strobel, I'll turn it over to you, and you can present to us what you'd like for us to consider, please.
Yes, our current agreement allots for 12 full-time telecommunicators and 4 full-time telecommunication supervisors. We would like to remove 2 of those positions. They're vacant, and we found that we can operate efficiently without the 2 additional supervisor positions and change those to telecommunicator positions to add to our floating staff and ability to cover more shifts. The 2 telecommunication supervisors would take on more of an administrative role, overseeing and floating around, filling where it need be. And that would it would help us out staff-wise, making sure we had each shift full to the best of our ability, and it would be some savings as the telecommunication supervisors at a higher rate. So it would just be eliminating 2 positions and making them regular telecommunicator positions.
Well, we appreciate your bringing this forward, and I know you've had some conversations with Controller Prestapine. I guess I'm going to actually ask you a question, if you don't mind. Can you confirm that this proposal would actually be a cost savings to the county?
Yeah, because the supervisors make more money than the telecommunicators. We're getting 2 higher paid positions for 2 lower paid positions.
Thank you for confirming that. And, we've made note of the fact in the past that your office, your department, particularly as it relates to the 911 center, never closes, never shuts down. It operates 24 hours a day, every day of the year. And we all know that role up there is so critical as it relates to emergencies and people's lives. So this may give you an opportunity to find people that you need to find, which is a challenging thing these days. But we appreciate your bringing this before us. I'll ask Mr. Burek if he has any questions of Mr. Strobel.
No questions. I support the resolution.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Spielvogel.
I have no concerns. I know that it's something that I thought was necessary and honestly will help with the telecommunicators with it. It's a tough job. It's a very stressful job. So if we could ease their concerns and their worries in any way to have extra staff, floating staff available, that's great. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Controller Prestapine.
No, I'm good.
Thank you. Well, I have no further questions other than just to note we value how conscientious you are and the great work that you do for us day in and day out. And that's true for your staff as well.
Thank you.
So we also know that you have an important meeting to get to. So, and I think I made note that this meeting you're going to, Commissioner Spielvogel is able to participate.
Yes.
We apologize that Mr. Burek and I have a meeting up in Mercer County that we have to get to. So
It's during the day. It's understandable.
we appreciate your understanding. I'm glad Loretta can
Yes, absolutely.
work with you on that.
I'll see you shortly.
I would entertain then a motion, please, for proposed resolution 30.
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. Any further comments or discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask Vanessa to call the roll, please.
Controller Prestapine,
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Burek,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Chad, appreciate
Thank
you
you,
being
Chad.
here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Wish you well with your next meeting.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Next on the agenda is a request from the courts, specifically to domestic relations. Judge, I say it every time, you are welcome to sit up here if you wish.
I always say that it's nice to see this side of the
I say he's used to sitting on the upper chair.
The change is nice.
We appreciate that, Your Honor, and thank you for your courtesy in allowing.
Oh, no problem.
That was very kind of you.
I'm good time.
Thank you so much. The proposal you have before us, we've looked it over, and it's, I guess for lack of a better term, more or less a technical correction, if you will, or a technical move. But Judge, this involves the revenue administrator position under the Domestic Relations Office, which of course ultimately reports to you in your capacity as the president judge. This would be proposed resolution 31. And with that, Judge, I'll turn it over to you if you both care to make a presentation as well as a motion, if you're so willing.
Well, as indicated on the motion, due to an outdated salary board resolution, there was a promotion relative to the position of revenue administrator, but the promotion actually caused a decrease in pay. And this position is fully funded by the Domestic Relations Incentive Grant, so no taxpayer money is, county taxpayer money is used for that. So the motion would be that the base salary of the revenue administrator be set at $42,631, and that it be retroactively effective to April 4, 2023. And I would make that motion.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Thank you. And I'll see if you have any questions or concerns, Mr. Bureau.
Yeah, I support the resolution. This employee was given a promotion until this will be your rate of pay, but due to the outdated salary board resolution, the controller's office has to go by. This action is necessary to pay the person what they were told they would make upon taking that new position.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Spielvogel?
No.
Thank you. Controller Cressapine?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. And we appreciate all your work on this as well. I know you've been in consultation with the courts and the Domestic Relations Office, so we appreciate your working with us on that. I have no other questions. The motion has been made and appropriately seconded. Unless there's any other discussion, we'll have a roll call, please.
Judge Mata,
Yes?
Controller Prestipine,
Yes,
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes,
Commissioner Buick,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you.
Okay,
Judge,
thank you so much.
thanks. You're welcome to stay, but I'm sure you have a lot to do upstairs.
I do, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Take care.
The third and final item on the agenda involves our Children and Youth Services Office. We're privileged today to have Director John Bout with us. John, thank you for taking the time to join us. Thank you. I see you have a handout.
yes. I love handouts.
And we have 3 items to today, and as you present them to us, John, if you could touch on the means by which these positions are compensated. I know there's a split between the county share and the state share. If you'd be kind enough to touch on that. The only other comment I'll make is that we noted under Mr. Strobel's responsibility that their office deals very closely with people's lives, as does yours, and more importantly, with children's lives. And the last thing we want to do, I think it's one of our major goals, is eliminating or at least reducing risk for children. And you've had a lot of challenges as it relates to your ability to attract employees. Those jobs are not easy. And in our meetings, Commissioner Spielvogel, Commissioner Buick, when we talk to other counties, they're having the same problem in attracting and then keeping caseworkers in particular, because it's not an easy job. And so this is not only a Lawrence County concern. In many other counties, this situation exists. So you have 3 items. Let's take the first, which would be the Fiscal Operations Officer 3. This would be proposed resolution 32. Can you fill us in on that, please, John?
Well, and Commissioner, thank you, Commissioners, to the board. Thank you for the opportunity. And I'd also like to thank you for recognizing and commenting CYS, child welfare, it's a challenging job. And it's a thankless job. So on behalf of my staff, I appreciate you acknowledging that. My staff work tirelessly, day in and day out as a 365, 24/7, 365 operation. So appreciate it. Fiscal Operations Officer 3. This position and the others that I bring before you is covered under our Act 148 funding, in which 80% is reimbursed through the state of Pennsylvania. The position for this resolution and the others, we're following recommendations from the Pennsylvania Office of Children, Youth, and Families. They made some recommendations to us in order to attract and retain our staff. And so this first position, Fiscal Operations Officer 3, it would build within the existing department at Children and Youth, a very busy fiscal department with a lot of children to track and a lot of finances to manage. The current pay is for this position, base rated into the contract, is $47,154.98. And something that I wanted to present to the board is when you look at the Fiscal Operations Officer 2 position in comparison to the Fiscal Operations 3 position. So the county share right now on a Fiscal Operations 2 position is $8,883.02 after reimbursement from the state. The difference after reimbursement for the state for a Fiscal Operations Officer 3 position is $9,430.99. So a difference between the two positions annually of $547.97. And so I come before you presenting a position that will add $547.97 after reimbursement. It will help solidify and retain the staff that we have within a very important department within CYS.
Appreciate that explanation. I should note, I should have done this initially, that the requests that are coming from Children and Youth Services today, all of these positions are union positions, if I'm not mistaken. These positions would be members of the AFSCME labor union, including the one we're discussing right now. Let me see if Commissioner Spielvogel has any questions.
No questions, but comments that we all realize and know how difficult it is to, number one, get staff, number two, retain them. I think that this is a step in the right direction. Number one, to get the money back to us, because that's, yes, the families are number one and safety is number one, but we have to make sure we get the money to pay those members of our staff. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Loretta. Controller Prestipon, questions?
No.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Burek.
No questions. I've met with Director Bouts since I've been back in office and understand the situation, and I support this resolution.
Thank you, sir, very much. That being said, may I have a motion then for consideration of proposed resolution, Salary Board Resolution 32?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you both. Any further questions or concerns? Hearing none, I'll ask Vanessa to call the roll.
Controller Prestipine,
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Buick,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. The next proposed resolution, number 33, deals with the creation of 2 program specialist 2 positions, which again are union positions at CYS. John, as you offer your explanation on this, if you'd be kind enough, not only for our benefit, but the benefit of anybody viewing, if you could tell us a little bit about the role and responsibility of a program specialist. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So this position, like the other positions, excuse me, is covered under Act 148, 80% reimbursement, recommended to us to look at enhancing our existing positions, creating career ladders for the purposes of retaining our staff For us, retention of staff equates to child safety as we look to keep our professionals working at CYS and move from CYS being a job to a lifelong career because of the importance of it. Our program specialists review quality, so they are constantly working with our staff to ensure compliance with regulations, to help train and develop our caseworker pool through skill enhancements, trainings, direct feedback, on-the-road assistance, so field coaching. Our program specialists work to assist in areas of permanency, helping children find, for lack of better words, that forever home, family finding efforts. And so the program specialist is a position that falls within our chain of command, our hierarchy, as a career ladder for a caseworker. It's also a position that has very much equal to responsibility as our caseworker supervisors do, just in a different capacity. They're not supervising caseworkers, but they are helping to train and develop our line staff, which do the day in and day out, frankly, heavy lifting of the agency. And so in the same way I broke down this position for the board, just for perspective, this is an existing, program specialist 2 is an existing contractual position within the current collective bargaining agreement. It has been so for many years. Currently, a program specialist 1, after reimbursement from the state, the cost for salary to the county is $8,166.70. In looking at the program specialist 2 position, after reimbursement for the salary, the cost would be per position $8,618.92. So there's a differential per position of program specialist 1 to 2 of $452 annually. And this move, again, makes effort for us to retain our staff, to create that opportunity for staff that are working hard day in and day out to see a promotional opportunity. And so that person that comes in day one as a caseworker oftentimes will want to know in the interview and then ongoingly, if I make this a career, what are the potential opportunities for me? So I appreciate the board's consideration of trying to help us retain our staff. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bout. I'll start with Controller Prestipine to see if you might have any questions.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, thank you. Commissioner Spielvogel?
Just note that it's an 80-20 match, and these positions are recommendations from our state OCYF, our Office of Children, Youth, and Families.
Thank you for noting that. And Commissioner Burek?
Concur Commissioner Spielvogel's comments. I was going to state that it's recommended by the State Office of Children, Youth, and Families. And I believe these were all considered in the needs-based budget that's approved every year by the state. I support the resolution.
Thank you, sir. John, I appreciate what you've proposed to us. And with that being said, I would entertain then a motion for us to consider proposed resolution, Salary Board Resolution 33.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you both. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask Vanessa to call the roll, please.
Controller Prestipine,
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Buick,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. The final, the final proposed resolution, number 34, involves the position of case aide. And what is being proposed to us today is the creation of 3 case aide positions in the Office of Children and Youth Services. These, as noted earlier, these are union positions. And I'll let Mr. Bout give us the explanation. And again, if you'd be kind enough, just a quick overview of the role of a case aide, that would be helpful to us. Thank you, John.
Welcome. The case aides assist in some clerical functions. They assist with direct childcare. They do transportation of children. They contact physician offices and school districts to obtain records that are needed for court purposes, investigations, ongoing case management. They serve, again, to assist caseworkers and potentially at times caseworker supervisors. Things that they would assist supervisors with are helping to send out the regulatory notices whenever we receive a referral. We have legal mandates to provide notice to the family, the alleged perpetrators, and so they assist with maintaining the administration of the case file along with direct service work. These positions, like the others, are funded at 80% from the state. They are in our Act 148 budget and have been in our current budget since November. So we had 8 months of funding. This consideration would allow us within this fiscal year to post for these positions, which are helpful to us in the planning for future budgets and our demonstration to the state that the positions that they award for us, we look to move forward with. On the second page of the handout that I provided you, it gives a summary. Currently, when we are full staff, our 2 existing case aides have a ratio of 11-to-1. So they're trying to assist on average 11 caseworkers and or supervisors. And with each caseworker having somewhere between 15 on the low end and 30 on the high end cases, which equates to in each caseload somewhere between 30 and 45 children. And so the workload is high, the demand is challenging, and the 2 case aides, frankly, cannot maintain the demand, which then applies pressure to our caseworker position to continue to do more. And for us, we are looking to add these positions to get to a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 ratio. We feel that it will help our operations, having 1 case aide for each unit. It will allow the case aide and the particular supervisor unit and caseworkers to know each other well, to know the cases intimately, and to dilute the work to a more manageable amount. And we hope that that adds a retention aspect for caseworker, because caseworkers will be able to do a little less clerical administration work and be in the field, seeing the kids and working with the families and having contact with the teachers. And so we also look at this as a program enhancement for us, because really what we want to do is find ways of having our caseworkers in the field more, engaging with the community. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And I'm going to see if Commissioner Burek has any questions or concerns.
For all the reasons elaborated by Director Bout, I support the resolution.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Spielvogel?
Same thing.
Thank you. And Controller Preston?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Likewise, John, your explanation, not only on this proposal, but the other 2 has been very thorough and very helpful. I would then entertain a motion for consideration of proposed resolution 34 as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you both. Any other discussion or comment? Before we vote, I do want to thank, again, Controller Prestapine. He works very closely with our department heads, such as Mr. Bout, Mr. Strobel, and with the courts and with the row officers in the development of these documents to make certain that everything is in order, that his office can do what they need to do. Can't thank you enough for your cooperation and your courtesy and your expertise.
Most definitely, yes.
We greatly appreciate it.
No problem.
All the behind the scenes work.
That's true.
That's what we sometimes don't think about. But Dan is always first to say, have you checked with the controller about that?
Well,
Rookie mistake.
I always say, if he's happy, I'm happy.
Yes.
Well, we've had a motion and a second, and if there is no further discussion, I'll ask that we do a roll call.
Controller Preston,
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Buick,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you so much. Mr. Bout, thank you.
Thank you all.
Can you stick around for 1 second after we adjourn? I won't keep you long. Now, those were the only matters of business that we were going to discuss today as advertised, but I think before we adjourn, for public comment purposes, I'll note for the record that Mr. Vanasco is with us. Joe, anything?
No, sir.
Thank you, our county administrator. But other than that, there are no members of the public here today. But let me see if any of my colleagues have any closing concerns or remarks.
Just that we don't take this lightly, even though, we joke a little bit about it. It's the taxpayer money one way or another. And, getting to this point with creating all of the positions that we have, the changes that we've made in positions, it's always the taxpayer that we do have in mind. And there's not one of us that doesn't think about that in anything that we do. So just wanted to note that because there were a lot of things that happened today. Yes.
Thank you. Anything else, David? Thank you. Commissioner Burek, any closing concerns or remarks?
I just want to publicly thank
Yes.
Controller Dave Prestipine as well. I've known Dave for many years, and the county really is truly blessed to have somebody with your knowledge and expertise as a county controller in the field of accounting. And also, as Commissioner Vogler said, you're polite, respectful, helpful. And unfortunately, that hasn't always been the case from the people that have held the position controller, both in Lawrence County and other counties. I've had some experience and I hear a lot of stories, and we are truly blessed. And I just want to thank you
Yes.
publicly for, you do a lot of work behind the scenes that keeps the county running and the money running and the budget under control. And I appreciate it. And I feel the county is blessed to have you. So thank you
Yes.
very
I
much.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Well, there being no other business to be brought before the board, I wish to then entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, David. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. The meeting is adjourned, and Mr. Vanasco will turn off the computer. I'll see you up in